There's this whole secret world hidden inside the walls of your home. It's this complex network of pipes, always working, always communicating, and it has its own language. So today, let's figure out what your home is actually trying to tell you.
Think about it. That weird gurgling sound the toilet makes, or that sink that just seems to take forever to drain. What if I told you those aren't just little annoyances? They're messages. They're symptoms of a much bigger story that's unfolding just out of sight. The real question is, are you listening?
All right, so before we can crack this case, we have to learn how to spot the clues. Let's dive into some of the most common signals your home's plumbing sends out when it's starting to have a problem.
I mean, look at this list. I bet a lot of these sound pretty familiar, right? Millions of us see these things every day and just kind of ignore them. But each one, from that gurgle to a weirdly high water bill, is like a breadcrumb. On its own, it might not seem like a big deal, but when you put them all together, they paint a really clear picture of a system that's under some serious stress.
To really get to the bottom of this, we're going to do a little deep dive, a case study, if you will. We're heading to Goodlettsville, Tennessee. It's a town where all the hidden forces that attack our plumbing are on full display, which makes it the perfect place to uncover the real culprits.
So, what's going on in this town isn't just random bad luck. It turns out there are three main villains in this story, all working together. You've got the town's geology, its climate, and its history, all conspiring against the pipes buried underground and hidden in the walls.
Let's start with culprit number 1, geology, the ground itself. See, Goodlettsville is built on limestone, and that means the water is what's called very hard. We're talking more than 200 parts per million of minerals dissolved in it. Now, it's perfectly safe to drink, but for your pipes, it's a slow-motion disaster, creating this rock-like scale that builds up, layer after tiny layer.
And honestly, this is the perfect way to think about it. It's literally like cholesterol for your plumbing. This mineral scale slowly, quietly chokes the life out of your pipes, narrowing the opening for water to get through. It puts a massive strain on everything, from your dishwasher to your water heater.
Now for culprit number 2, history. A ton of the homes here went out between 1970 and 1990, and they all used galvanized steel pipes. Just look at this timeline. For the first, say, 15 years, everything seems totally fine on the surface, but inside, the corrosion has already started. By 2010, the signs are obvious. The water pressure is terrible, you're seeing rusty water, and today, that pipe is basically a ticking time bomb.
And when you put the old technology side by side with the new stuff, wow, it's just no contest. On the left, you've got the old galvanized steel. It rusts from the inside out, it gets brittle, it kills your water pressure. And on the right, you have modern PEX tubing. It's flexible, it can't corrode, and it even handles freezing temperatures better. It's a complete night and day difference.
But it's not just about what the pipes are made of or what's flowing through them. There are these powerful, invisible forces from the outside that are putting these already weak systems under constant, incredible pressure. Get this. The water that comes into your house from the city's supply line is often pushing at 80 pounds per square inch. That's 80 psi. That might not sound like a crazy number, but it's a significant, relentless force pushing on every single pipe, joint, and fixture in your home, 24/7. And here's the kicker. Your home's plumbing system, your faucets, your appliances, everything, it was only designed to handle at most 60 psi. That extra 20 psi is like constantly redlining your car's engine. It just dramatically accelerates the wear and tear on the entire system.
And that brings us to our third and final culprit, the climate. In Tennessee, you can get winter nights that drop below 20 degrees and summer days that soar past 85. All that temperature change forces those old metal pipes to constantly expand and contract. It's like bending a paper clip back and forth. Eventually, the metal gets weak, it gets brittle, and it's just waiting to snap.
So, let's recap. You've got hard water clogging the pipes from the inside, you've got high water pressure pushing from the outside, and you have a climate that's constantly making the metal weaker. What do you think happens when all those forces finally push the system past its breaking point?
Well, it often starts on one of those really cold nights. A pipe in an unheated space, already weakened by decades of stress, finally freezes solid.
And as that water turns to ice, it expands with incredible force. The old, brittle metal just can't take it, and it splits wide open. The ticking time bomb just went off.
So when things start to thaw out, the result is, well, it's a catastrophe. Water just pours out of that burst pipe, turning what was a hidden problem into a full-blown emergency. We're talking thousands of dollars in property damage in just a matter of hours.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. In a situation like this, time is your absolute worst enemy. Every hour you wait, the damage gets worse, the cost goes up, and your life gets turned upside down. The speed of the response is everything.
Okay, that was all pretty grim. But here's the good news. While all that old technology helped create these problems, modern tech and modern processes offer some really powerful solutions. Let's take a look at how these complex issues get solved today. You know, the modern way of doing things is all about making it clear and efficient. It's a simple 3-step process designed to get rid of the stress. First, you call and get someone out there fast, often the same day. Second, they find the real root cause, not just the symptom, and they give you an upfront price, no surprises. And finally, they do the work right, with good parts, and they stand behind it with a warranty. It brings order to all that chaos.
And the tools themselves are on another level. Just take a clogged drain. The old way, snaking, is basically just poking a small hole through the gunk. But modern hydrojetting, it uses a super high-pressure stream of water to completely scour the entire inside of the pipe clean. It gets rid of all that mineral scale we were talking about. It doesn't just treat the symptom, it actually cures the disease.
This really pulls it all together. It's the ultimate playbook. For every single one of those root causes we identified, there's a modern, permanent solution. To fight back against history, you can repipe the house with new materials. To beat the geology, a water softener stops that cholesterol buildup cold. And to handle the pressure, a simple pressure regulator acts like a shield for your whole system. These aren't just patches, they're actual long-term fixes.
So, when you think about it, the secret life of our pipes really shows us how tiny little symptoms can point to huge problems, and that these hidden systems we rely on need our attention. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other invisible systems in our lives, in our cars, our tech, maybe even our own health, are sending out quiet signals, just waiting for us to stop and listen?